Hello everyone, and welcome to your journey through chemical bonding and molecular structure for G-Main Class 11 Chemistry. Today, we are diving into a fascinating concept, resonance. This topic explains why some molecules behave differently than what a single simple drawing suggests, adding a crucial layer to our understanding of chemical stability and reactivity. We'll explore this concept step by step, starting from the basics and progressing to competitive level insights, helping you master it for your exams. Let's begin our exploration with the basics of resonance. What is it, and why do we need it? Imagine trying to draw a molecule like the carbonate ion. If you try to use single and double bonds, you might find yourself drawing multiple possibilities. Resonance explains this. It's when a single Lewis structure can't fully capture a molecule's true nature. Instead, we use several contributing structures, also called canonical forms, to describe it. The real molecule isn't any one of these, but resonance hybrid, which is an average of all of them. This hybrid is always more stable than any single drawing you can make. What changes in resonance? Crucially, only the electrons move, specifically pi electrons in double or triple bonds, or lone pairs of electrons. The atoms themselves stay fixed in their positions. All these contributing structures must have the same number of total electrons and the same net charge. We show these structures connected by a double-headed arrow, not an equilibrium arrow, because the molecule isn't constantly switching, it exists as a hybrid simultaneously. Think of the carbonate ion. Its 3 oxygen atoms are all bonded identically to carbon, with bond lengths in between a single and a double bond, a perfect example of a resonance hybrid. Now, it's your turn to practice. Here are 3 questions to test your understanding of the easy concepts of resonance. Pause the video, try them out, and then we'll move on to a deeper dive. Ready to go further? Let's explore the rules and different types of resonance, building on our foundational knowledge. To draw valid resonance structures, there are key rules to follow. Firstly, remember, atoms never move, only pi electrons and lone pairs shift. All structures must be legitimate Lewis structures, meaning they respect the octet rule where possible, especially for elements like carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. The total number of electrons, both paired and unpaired, must remain constant across all forms. And the overall charge of the molecule shouldn't change. Finally, for effective resonance, the atoms involved must be coplanar, allowing their p orbitals to overlap efficiently. Electron delocalization, the core of resonance, comes in several forms, often called conjugation. You can have pi bonds alternating with other pi bonds, like in 1,3-butadiene. Or a lone pair on an atom next to a pi bond, as seen in aniline. Even positive or negative charges can participate when they are adjacent to a pi bond, stabilizing carbocations or carbanions. Understanding these patterns helps you identify where resonance can occur and how electrons are distributed. Not all resonance structures are created equal. Some contribute more to the actual hybrid because they are more stable. How do we judge stability? Structures with more covalent bonds are generally better. Those where all atoms have a complete octet, especially for second-period elements, are highly favored. Minimizing formal charges is also key, and if charges are present, having negative charges on more electronegative atoms and positive charges on less electronegative ones leads to greater stability. This concept of relative stability is vital for predicting molecular properties. Time for some more practice. These 5 questions will challenge your understanding of the rules for resonance structures and their relative stabilities. Take your time, draw them out, and consolidate your learning. Excellent work so far. Now, let's elevate our understanding by analyzing resonance more deeply, connecting it to energy, and differentiating it from similar concepts. One of the most significant consequences of resonance is enhanced stability, quantified by resonance energy, also known as delocalization energy. This is the energy difference between the molecule's true structure, the resonance hybrid, and the most stable structure you can draw using localized bonds. It's always a stabilizing energy. We often determine this experimentally, for instance, by comparing the heat released during the hydrogenation of a resonant compound like benzene with a hypothetical non-resonant structure. This energy difference highlights the profound impact of electron delocalization. It's important to distinguish between formal charge and oxidation state when discussing resonance. Formal charge helps us evaluate the stability of individual resonance structures. It assumes electrons are shared equally in bonds. Oxidation state, on the other hand, assumes bonds are completely ionic, with electrons going to the more electronegative atom, and is less directly useful for analyzing resonance structure contributions. Understanding formal charges is crucial for identifying the most significant resonance contributors. We also need to understand the difference between localized and delocalized electrons. Localized electrons are confined to a single atom or bond, like sigma bonds. Delocalized electrons, however, are spread over 3 or more atoms, typically pi electrons in conjugated systems or lone pairs involved in resonance. For effective delocalization, the molecule needs to be planar, allowing parallel overlap of p orbitals. This is a critical condition for resonance to occur. Finally, remember that resonance involves only electron movement, while tautomerism involves the movement of both electrons and an atom, usually a hydrogen, leading to distinct interconverting isomers. You're doing great! Here are 7 challenging questions that delve into resonance energy, formal charges, and the distinctions between related concepts. Tackle these to solidify your advanced understanding. All right, champions. Prepare to tackle the highest level of understanding in resonance. We'll explore its role in advanced topics and competitive chemistry. At the highest level, resonance ties into the concept of aromaticity, a special type of stability described by Huckel's rule. This rule states that cyclic, planar, fully conjugated molecules with 4n plus 2 pi electrons are exceptionally stable, they are aromatic. If they have 4n pi electrons, they are antiaromatic and highly unstable. This goes beyond simple resonance, defining a unique class of compounds. We also contrast resonance with hyperconjugation, sometimes called no-bond resonance. While both stabilize molecules, hyperconjugation involves the delocalization of sigma electrons into adjacent pi systems or empty orbitals, generally a weaker effect than the full pi electron delocalization of resonance. Quantifying resonance energy is crucial. Experimentally, we can determine it by comparing heats of hydrogenation or formation. For example, the difference between the observed heat of hydrogenation of benzene and what would be expected for a hypothetical cyclohexatriene gives us benzene's resonance energy. From a theoretical standpoint, molecular orbital (MO) theory offers a more accurate picture. It describes electrons occupying delocalized molecular orbitals that span the entire conjugated system, providing a more fundamental explanation for resonance than drawing multiple Lewis structures. This understanding is key for competitive exams. Resonance is indispensable in understanding reaction mechanisms. It explains the remarkable stability of intermediates like allylic and benzylic carbocations, carbanions, and radicals, which are stabilized by extensive electron delocalization. This stabilization dictates reaction pathways, regioselectivity, and overall reactivity. For instance, the resonance stabilization of the phenoxide ion makes phenol significantly more acidic than simple alcohols. While resonance theory is a powerful conceptual tool, it has limitations. It's a model, not a physical reality. Molecules don't switch between structures. The true structure is the hybrid, and the theory cannot perfectly predict all properties without advanced computational methods. Beyond theoretical chemistry, resonance has profound applications in real-world fields. In drug design, understanding electron delocalization helps optimize drug molecules for stability, reactivity, and interaction with biological targets. Many drugs feature conjugated systems that influence their therapeutic effects. In material science, extensive resonance in polymers leads to fascinating properties. For example, conducting polymers and organic semiconductors rely on delocalized pi-electron systems to facilitate electrical conductivity, opening doors for flexible electronics and advanced materials. Resonance is truly a cornerstone of modern chemistry and engineering. You've reached the pinnacle of our resonance journey. Here are the first 5 challenging questions designed to test your comprehensive understanding of this topic. Take your time, apply all the concepts we've discussed, and push your limits. And here are the final 5 questions to complete your mastery of resonance. These will really make you think and connect various aspects of chemical bonding. Good luck, and give them your best shot. Congratulations on completing this in-depth exploration of resonance. You've navigated from basic definitions to advanced applications, gaining a crucial understanding for G-main and beyond. To further solidify your knowledge and access more such comprehensive content, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting lessons and updates. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep excelling in your chemistry journey.